don't even know where to start. Right, so where do you start with a game like that? At home, Newcastle, and you lose 1-0. I mean, already everyone's focusing on the penalty, but doesn't matter. You know, it was a penalty. You know, it should have been given. But what would that have changed? That game was bad from the beginning to the end. Even if we'd got the penalty, maybe we could have found another goal, but why would we have? Did we find one in the 96 minutes we had? No. So chances are we would not have found another goal anyway. And okay, you get a point from that penalty, you know, for the draw, but come on. That would just further hide what happened today. Now, we played 3 games this season already. Villa, Man City, Newcastle. Conceded first, conceded first, conceded first. What's going on there? How can that be good enough? Okay, we came back against Villa. Okay, we came back against Man City. But like, how many more times this season is this going to happen? Because this is the problem when you keep going behind like that, is that you have to keep coming back. And if you don't come back, then you lose, which is exactly what happened today. You know, we conceded a goal, sloppy goal. You know, everyone wants to blame Sanchez, whatever. It can be his fault, I don't care. You know, if we're not scoring, we're losing those games. And if we're conceding, we're losing those games. There's something definitely going on, you know, which is being covered over by our fan base because they just want to focus on the positives and don't want to hear the reality, you know. Vertonghen, don't know what's going on there. Eriksen probably is going to go. I mean, it just looks like it, doesn't it? And that's another thing as well. Everyone just bring Eriksen on, bring Eriksen on, bring Eriksen on. He came on. What happened? We played better? Yes. Did it change the result? No. If he'd started, would it have been any different? Who knows? But, you know, we can't be this team that just focuses on Eriksen every time. If he's playing, we win, which is not true, by the way. We don't win every time Eriksen plays. You know, and when he doesn't play, we lose. If he goes, then what does that mean? Well, that's it then, isn't it? We're done. We're going to our fan base because we cannot play without him. You know, so let's forget Eriksen for a moment. Forget the penalty. Forget the referee. Forget Mike Dean. Forget VAR. There's something inherently wrong at the moment with Spurs. Yes, it's only 3 games. Yes, we were in the Champions League final, you know, but whatever. If you look back over the end of last season, there were issues. And we just put them down to fatigue and, you know, squad being depleted and stuff. He'll be okay, you know. Son's back for this game, you know, that will make a big difference. Yeah. None of it seems to make a difference. Or enough of a difference to change what's happening. There's definitely something going on with this team, which just is, you know, not working. Now, to be honest with you, it could just be as simple as we're not as good as we think we are or hope we are. Yeah, top 4 is realistic ambition, but our fan base is becoming deluded with an idea that, you know, we're going to win the Premier League, we're going to win this, we're going to win that. How are we? How is that going to be possible? You look at Liverpool, you look at Man City, and you just know they're going to get the results. They really are. You know, I mean, Man City dropped points against us, but that was, you know, a close call. We spent 90 minutes defending like Newcastle did today. You know, difference was Man City were converting. You know, so we just spent 96 minutes attacking nothing, playing the ball around, playing it around. Like, I didn't even understand what our game plan was today. Like, Newcastle 100% had a plan, and presumably they executed it pretty well. You know, they wanted to defend, maybe if a chance arose, take advantage of it, and one did, and they did. So, you know, their plan kind of worked. But what was our game plan? You know, Again, Mora is another example. Everyone's like, bring Mora on from the start. He needs to start. He did. Mora started. Son started. Kane started. But immediately everyone's like, oh, well, they're starting. So now where's Eriksen? Eriksen needs to start. You know, so we've got this excuse in our fan base that every time someone doesn't start, that's the reason we don't score or we lose. If Eriksen had started today and Son hadn't, for example, or Mora hadn't, and we'd still lost, then everyone would be like, oh, well, Mora or Son should have been on. Now, if your argument is, yeah, okay, our best 11 players should be on the field, then that is correct. They should be. But, you know, we only have about 11 best players. And what do we do when one of them's, you know, not playing or wanting to leave or just debatable? I mean, I can understand Poch not playing Eriksen, at least not trying to make the team the focal, you know, him the focal point of the team for a game like this, because this is a type of game where you should be able to win without Eriksen. And if we are going to lose Eriksen, then he needs to kind of prepare for that. So this is an ideal situation to not start Eriksen in that sense. Compared to next week, when we're playing Arsenal, then you will start Eriksen, even if he's gone the day after, because you need to have that there. So I can understand Poch trying to make sure we can play in a certain way without Eriksen, if that was why Eriksen didn't start. You know, but just, you can't be saying all the time, bring Eriksen on. You know, because he came on today, done nothing. At least nothing came of him coming on. We still lost. And we deserve to lose. Can't sit here blaming VAR. You know, it was a bad decision. It was the wrong decision. But it won't change the outcome. We would have got 1 point, and we, you know, some would have considered that then a result. A good result. We got a point, points a point. You know, and it would have further disguised the issues that we have. We lost today. We deserve to lose today. And people need to start opening their eyes to the fact that we are not as good as we think we are. How good we are is another story. You know, we are definitely top 4. We should definitely get top 4 again this season. But after 3 games, already the same issues that were manifesting towards the end of last season are evident. If you don't see them, you don't see them. If you disagree, that's fine. But for me, as a Spurs fan, it is not easy watching. None of the games have been easy. Man City, okay, that was never going to be an easy game. But straight out the gate, Villa, and then Newcastle. I mean, congratulations, Newcastle. It's a good win for you. You know, 3 points for you. And they, well, may or may not matter come the end of the season for you, but that was just not good enough. On any level, that was undefendable. You cannot sit there and defend what happened in that game. Poch also needs to take some of the responsibility. Too many people are too quick to always defend him because he is one of the best managers we've had in a long time. You know, I like Poch, but you can't always just defend him, especially when things clearly go wrong like this. I mean, why is he waiting every game until the 60-minute marker to bring someone on? How can you be that formulaic with your tactics? If you see something's not working after 10 minutes, change it. 15 minutes, change it. You concede, change. Like, I don't understand why he's not more dynamic with his in-game tactics. He has this kind of like system where this is where I'm going to make a substitute. Doesn't matter what happens. Unless someone's injured or whatever, it's just like nothing will change until that point. And then at that point, change. It has worked for us sometimes, but it clearly didn't work for us today. He needs to be more dynamic in games like that. Because this was just not good. You know, not only was it not good enough, it was just not good in general. This was a bad game. And now we're going into next week's game on a bit of a downer. I mean, Arsenal, they lost. So, you know, we both dropped points. But the difference is they lost to Liverpool this week. We lost to Newcastle. So let that sink in. I'll see you next week.